guys, my name is LaShare, and I am creating these videos because I wanted to kind of do a vlog that shows the steps I'm taking to forming the two companies that I just started, that I just created. I wanted to give insight for anyone that's interested in starting a business to the steps to take, because it took me a long time to get to a place of actually making progress because I was so afraid of what would be necessary. I just thought like it was such a sophisticated thing and it was way beyond the scope of what I was capable of, and I don't know, I'd probably need an attorney for the whole thing, and they cost, everyone knows attorneys cost $1 million, so I would have to wait till I get $1 million to get an attorney, and all these things I was hypothesizing, and it kept me from being any level of productive in starting a company. But as I started to take these little baby steps, I learned that it really wasn't as hard as I was thinking to do it the strategic way, as opposed to just, in my case, selling products without having a structure, a business structure that, that the US requires you to have. I wanted to do it the legitimate way. So here's what I did first. I went to the state, I live in the state of Virginia. So when I was forming my business, I had to go to the State Corporation Commission. So the State Corporation Commission for Virginia, I Googled that, and I would recommend you just do the same. So State Corporation Commission of Hawaii, or State Corporation Commission of Texas, or State Corporation Commission of California, So just Google that, and then it'll bring you to a site that people who are interested in registering their business or starting a business go to. When you go to the site, it's very simplistic. You can do it online, obviously, like you can do most things, but there's also an option to mail in your form. Some people might prefer that. It asked like 3 questions. In the US, is really easy to start a business. Sidebar, I was looking at this research called Doing Business, and it is something that the World Bank puts together. So the World Bank each year has a Doing Business for the year, and I was looking at the Doing Business for 2015. I guess it would have been 15 because 16 is probably not out yet because we're still in 2016. Nevertheless, I looked at the one for 2015, and it is comparably extremely easy to start a business in the US. They just want your money, and they want to know a home address, an address that you'll be doing business, and they want to know your name. Those are the things that the US needs in order to be like, hey, yeah, sure, start a business, as opposed to so many places around the world that just make it so much more difficult and taxing and time consuming. There are actually time constraints for form businesses in other parts of the world, and the US just makes it very simple. They just want your cash, pay for it, and you can have it. You can have your business. Welcome. So that's what it says. Yeah. So on the State Corporation Commission site for Virginia, it just asked me what I want my business name to be. So you type in what you intend to name your business, and it's a little search bar that allows you to make sure that no one else is carrying that name already, because the possibility exists that the name that you so love was already taken, and it might have just been taken yesterday. So it's really important to take these steps as soon as possible and reduce the possibility of someone else jumping on your idea, even the idea for your business name, before you. So it asks you to enter the entity name, or the proposed entity name, which is the name that you intend to name your business, and then you do it requires that you do a search to make sure no one else has it. And under the circumstances that they don't, you can proceed, and it asks you if you are a resident of that state that you're registering your business. So it makes you tell them if you live in the state, and you don't have to. You can be doing business in one state, although you're a resident in another state. They just want to know what your deal is, you know? And so you tell them I am a resident or I am not a resident, and then it asks you for the address that your office will be located in, essentially where you'll be doing business from. If you have an online business, it's asking where is the owner, where does the owner do their business, or where, where essentially is the address for that location. And specifically it asks, enter the address of the entity's principal office where its principal executive offices are to be located. Online businesses, obviously it's a laptop, but essentially it's just asking you for the address. So just like you have a home address, your business is going to have an address also. So what is that address? You fill that in. The fee. Fees vary, but there is a charge, and that's what the U.S. cares about, the coin. So in this case, Virginia charges $100, and it's a one-time fee in order to register your business. And then there also is a convenience fee for doing it online, which might be the reason why people mail in their applications, because they can save on the convenience fee. And some people just off a principle, like, why am I paying for the convenience of doing it online? So just for principle's sake, they'll do it on paper and mail it in, and be more in control with the money that they have to spend. To each their own. Nevertheless, the fee for Virginia is $1.95, and then you say who you are. So it asks you to tell it on the application if you are the individual or if you are a business entity. So it's asking if you are, representing yourself as the person who is registering the business, or are you representing a company who is registering a new business. So, like Johnson & Johnson has many businesses that are under them. So in their case, they would be signing as Johnson & Johnson, not the individual. But in my case, I'm the individual, so I just click that. Then it gives a disclaimer that it's unlawful to do anything that is dishonorable or manipulative, or just any level of lying. And then it tells you to pay and file. So you put in your credit card information, and that's it. That's all she wrote. At the end of that, they give to you a certificate, and I was so excited because I love certificates since when I was little. When you're little, you get all those progress reports and 10-star certificates. I love those. So yeah, so then it gives you a certificate, which you probably can't see very well from here, but it says Commonwealth of Virginia, because that's where I'm registered. State Corporation Commission. It says the date, and it verifies that the organization, which is LaShare Nicholson, my name, LaShare Nicholson LLC, is formed. And it says, this is to certify that the certificate of organization of LaShare Nicholson LLC was this day issued and admitted to record in this office, and that the said limited liability company, because that's what I formed, is authorized to transact its business subject to all Virginia laws applicable to the company and its business. Effective date November 7th, 2017, signed by the Clerk of Commission. And then it has the little seal of the State Corporation Commission. Boom, done. This is a very important step to take for many reasons, including the fact that it's not until you take this step of getting registered with your state that you can get your employer identification number. So the employer identification number is for a business the same thing as a social security number is for a U.S. resident or U.S. citizen. It's very important. It's the number that identifies all of your dealings. When people get paid under the books, it's because their social security number is not attached to the way that they move money. So the next step I took was to register my EIN. Another very quick Google search. But all in all, it's the IRS, which is universal for the United States. When you're registering a company in the United States, your next step is to go to irs.gov to get an EIN number. So the employer identification number is a very also simplistic application. It is longer, but it's necessary, because with your EIN number, then you can be a legitimate business that can take in money in a legal way. Because before you have an EIN number, you are a hobby and you are an extracurricular activity, which might be okay for some, but if you intend to start a business that you are expecting to grow and expand and thrive and, you know, at some point hire employees and be well known and be in some level of the public eye, you don't want to overlook the step of getting your EIN number, because you will need a bank account, you will need to be justifiable to be taking in money and to be spending money and to get money back, because when it's time to do your tax returns, you're able to file according to your spending when you have a business. And there are tax breaks that you get as a business owner, and there are expenses that businesses have that the government says will give you back a portion of what you spent if you tell us what they are and show us verification. So, you know, there's all types of benefits, and it's just a legitimate way to start a business. It's almost like if you have a baby and decide not to get them a social security number, or decide not to get a birth certificate for them. Like, you're like, I'll just raise the baby myself. No, you need to legitimize that baby by taking the appropriate measures to, like, tell the country that you live in, this baby is here, they're under my care, this is the name, this is the social, I don't want no problems, go about your business. You know, that type of thing. So to get my EIN, I went to irs.gov, and they make it really easy. So I did a search for EIN, and it brought me to requesting my EIN, and then it leads like to little instructions that give guidelines, and it tells you why you need an EIN, which is similar to what I just told you, but they don't say it in the way that I said it. But essentially, it's the same reasons. And then you can apply online. So the application is a little bit, like I was mentioning, a little bit more lengthy, because you're saying that this is the number that traces all of your money dealings, and the IRS really cares about what you're doing with your money, and it wants to scrutinize initially what your intentions are for this number that allows people to get credit. With this EIN number, you can get a credit card in your business's name. You know, your business can get a credit card to operate and function. Your business can, have a line of credit. Your business can purchase a office structure, or your business can lease an apartment. Lease a new office, or, and buy things and sell things. So the IRS cares a lot. Okay, so what I've done is I've printed out the details of what they have asked in the application to go through them with you. It asks first the business name, and it asks the way that you'll be taking care of this business. Like, what type is it? Is it an LLC? What is it? So you tell them if it's an LLC or an S Corp or a corporation, and it's a little extensive. So they ask for your business, for who the business owners are. They ask if it's a retail business. If so, what type of things will you be selling? Will you be selling alcohol? Will you be selling gifts? Will you be selling clothes? Will you be selling homes? Like, what is the thing that you're selling? It asks if it's casino, if it's a casino or gambling based operation. So it's like it's pretty lengthy in what it wants to know, but it's important, because after this step, it grants you an EIN number. And with your EIN number, you can then open a bank account. And that's important because accountants will always advise that you keep your money separate. Things that are specific to your business, you should keep in your business account, so that there's no area of gray, and there's no concept of misdealings or any notion that you've been handling money in an inappropriate fashion as it relates to your business. And it's good practice to keep things separate, so you're clear about how much money your business has, and you're very clear on how much money the owner has, and the business will be able to pay you. And if the business needs to buy something, it comes from the business account. So there's like, keeping it separate is I think invaluable, especially if you intend to make real money. If you don't intend to make real money, then I guess that really isn't important to you. If it's only maybe a couple of thousand that you expect to take in, every month or every so often, then mixing your money may not be a big deal. But if you have intentions on bringing in real money, like for real money, like tens of thousands of dollars on a not too on a regular basis, or a not too dramatically away from each other basis, then it's important to separate your money now and get into the habit of keeping your money separate and not spending for personal things from business money, and not spending for business things personal money. And also, when it's time to file your taxes, which you need to do regardless to how much money you have coming in, filing your taxes is a requirement that the U.S. has when you have registered your company. Even if you don't take in any money, and even if you take in very little, they require to be made aware of that amount. And when you have a separate account, you can, without a shadow of a doubt, make it clear what you have spent. So, after the application, I was granted my EIN number, which is so exciting. And they give you the certificate is not as pretty. It's not a certificate at all. It's just a letter from the IRS saying that we've assigned you an employer identification number, and it says to keep this because it's really important, and it reminds you to file. Like I was saying, just like when it's taxes time, this is something that you need to remind yourself to do. If you have an accountant, they won't let you forget. And so then you can move to the step of, like I was saying, starting a bank account, which your banker can help you with, and they're so excited to help you with that. Like, really excited. The next thing I wanted to bring up that I did so far is I went to the Small Business Association. So there's a Small Business Association in every state in the U.S., usually in like the metro areas in the city. There's a Small Business Association, and these are this is an organization that has mentors that have affiliation and experience with owning their own business, or working working directly with someone who owns their own business, or somehow they have a robust level of knowledge in the area of entrepreneurism, and they are available to you, during business hours to come and sit with. Like, it's free. It's something you just call them and make an appointment to do. And even they, in the one that's in DC, which is closest to me, they take walk-ins. So you can just walk into this office structure and sit down with someone and be like, hey, I want to start a business, ... Conversation just starts flowing. So that's what I did. I made an appointment to see the Small Business Association that's closest to me in DC. And when I met my counselor, we went through quite a few things, including the importance of a business plan and a marketing strategy, and all these things that I didn't consider because, I don't know, I was just going to wing it. He was like, don't wing it, you'll fail. And 99% of people that wing it fail. So if you want to fail, wing it. If you don't want to fail, take the time to learn how to be successful at your business. And I was like, I think I'm going to take the time. I don't want to fail. I'd be wasting my time if I just was doing all of this to fail. So although he was a wealth of knowledge and communicated an overwhelming amount of information to me that I had no idea about, so I can even, in another YouTube, I'll start to go into depth with what I learned in my very first meeting with the Small Business Association. Let me know if you want to see that, because I will go more in depth if you're interested in knowing what that was like. But some things that he did bring to my attention are the most important workshops to attend. And these workshops, although not free, they are very important, because as a business owner, there is no one to hold your hand through it. And oftentimes you learn by making mistakes, and you learn through frustrated attempts at doing something unsuccessfully. But these workshops help you to be have greater potential of success with every step you take. Essentially, they give you the knowledge so that you can work through your next steps with greater confidence, knowing the structure and knowing what's supposed to happen. And so what he said would be the first few most important workshops for someone in my position to take, someone that's like fresh off the I don't want to work for someone else's dream bus, and fresh on the, signing my own checks bus. He said writing a winning business plan, because a business plan is essential and it helps you learn how much you don't really know about the business you want to form. And it seems like it's a scary thing for me, but I learned how important it is, and not doing it is almost like not bringing my baby to the doctor to get them checked up. It's almost like not caring enough to take those extra steps. So how to write a winning business plan. There is a workshop called How to Start a Business. Signed up for that. And the other one that he said would be among the most important to begin with is I think those were the two he said to start with, because the Small Business Association has a wealth of information, like I mentioned, including so many workshops. Like on a regular rolling basis, they have so many workshops. They are in normal business hours, which is very challenging for me because I work 9 to 5, but it's worth it to cut out time or maybe take your lunch break and a couple of hours outside of that additionally to take advantage of a workshop, because if that's the only time frame you have to do it, and these are necessary in order to ensure the success of each step of the process of forming a business, I think it's worth it. It's worth the effort. And so that's where I am. That's the step that I'm at now. My next step is to sign up for a workshop. And I told you the ones that he mentioned were the most important, and in my next video I will communicate what I chose, which one I did or am choosing to do first. Hopefully there isn't a long wait time. I didn't consider the fact that I'm not the only one in the world that wants to start a business in DC. Well, in the DC area. Although I'm in Virginia, I'm in the DC area, and that's the closest small business association to me. So I'm hopeful that these aren't too full. But nevertheless, next week I'll record a video letting you know my progress in this effort, and anything else that I happen to have worked on in the week that has passed. So hopefully I have helped relieve some of the anxiety over starting a business, and I've helped make you to understand it's not that difficult, and you can do it. That's the point of this, to encourage you and let you know that you can do it, because for a long time I didn't think that I could, and I am doing it. So I know that if I can, certainly you can. So all right, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.